Welcome back. This is Dave's Corner Garage, and by popular demand, we have got this gentleman back. He's a personal injury lawyer in Toronto and is well known, not just because he's a lawyer, but he has some really good advice for you and me, the consumer. We welcome back Brian Goldfinger. How are you this morning, Brian?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back.
Pleasure. Listen, we've had a number of emails coming in and also some Facebook stuff, questions that people had after they heard you the first time. So one that's really sticks out to me is this one here. So, God forbid everybody's safe, but everybody has had some kind of an accident, and you go through the usual handing out of insurance and all that lovely stuff. But then there are these surprises. So what are some of the surprises that you've seen in your experience after an accident takes place?
So, the first surprise I'm going to tell people is with Ontario's no fault system of accident benefits, it basically pits the accident victim against his or her own insurance company. And that is not necessarily the best thing because you can imagine you've been loyal to one insurance company for many, many years and you've been paying premiums many, many years. And when it's time you need them, not for simple property damage, because they'll pay the value or perceived value of your vehicle. I'm talking about treatment. I'm talking about an income replacement benefit. I'm talking about an attendant care benefit. I'm talking about them paying for physiotherapy, chiropractor, massage. It pits you against your own insurance company, and that is very unpleasant. And it's very hard for people to come to grips with that despite fault. So the at-fault driver could have been drunk driving, smoking cannabis, ran a stop sign, and texting at the same time. You still have to make that first party claim with your own insurance company, despite the fact that the defendant driver was doing all these bad things.
Hmm. So, in your experience, what is the pushback that people have seen from their insurance companies that they hope they wouldn't have to go through?
Yeah, they hope that their insurance company would pay them when they need the treatment. But in my experience, we see a pattern of denials, denials, denials. And I think the hard thing for people to come to grips with, it's almost as if that defendant driver I explained to you, who was drinking and smoking and texting and ran the stop sign, has more protections under the law than the innocent accident victims do, which leads me to my next point. There's a secret credit that these insurance companies are entitled to. This secret credit does not apply for a dog bite. It does not apply for an assault case. It does not apply for a slip and fall. It only applies to car accident cases. And that's what makes it so crazy. The secret credit stands for any damages in only a car accident claim below $138,343.86. So if a judge and jury award you damages, say of 100,000, the insurance company in 2022 is entitled to a secret credit. It's called the deductible of $41,503.50. Bam, it's gone from your award.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me at 138K and they get that and you just get the balance of that?
If there's an award below the 138K and change,
Whoa.
the insurance company gets a credit of whatever the award is, and that credit is 41,500 and change.
So that takes place. You've already had an accident. You're in shock. You're hopefully going to get better. Then you're hit with this thing. Is there any recourse that you have as a customer? Like, what do you do? You hire a lawyer.
You hire a lawyer, but the thing is, like in the 70s and 80s, this secret credit did not exist. And when it first came out, it was at a much, much lower number. So it wasn't such a big deal. But today in 2022, when that secret credit, known as the deductible in the legal field, sits at 41,500 and change, that's a lot of money. And what it does is it nullifies a lot of these claims. So a lot of these claims where the defendant driver was smoking cannabis and drinking and ran the stop sign and texting at the same time and charged with everything under the sun, if your damages, it doesn't matter liability anymore. It only matters your damages. And if the judge and jury don't award you damages in excess of that deductible of 41,000 and change, you get zero. And that's a very, very hard pill for many people to swallow. And it's very, very disconcerting once plaintiffs and people find out about it.
Is it fairly common?
It's in every claim. Every case,
Everywhere.
every car accident case in Ontario is subject to that deductible where the damages do not exceed that threshold of 138,000 and change. And one more thing that is extremely unfair. At trial, plaintiff personal injury lawyers like myself and even lawyers on the other side of the bar are not allowed to mention that deductible. Otherwise, a judge will likely declare a mistrial. So the will of the jury, if a jury wants to award somebody, say, $50,000 in non-pecuniary damages, that $50,000 award gets taken down, less 41,500. It leaves with a person with about $8,000 in their pocket. So the will of the jury at trial isn't even followed. And that's very frustrating for members of the community.
So this takes place. You basically get the blocks put to you, and you're not getting any money back that you thought you were going to get originally. What does this do to your rates, to your insurance rates?
Well, the trade-off for the deductible, so the insurance company's lobby is very powerful, and they've lobbied the provincial government to say, hey, if you give us this secret credit, and if you skew the laws in our favor, we will pass those savings along to the consumer. That was the bargain. Unfortunately, in my kind of anecdotal surveys I take of clients and people who call me, I tend to ask people, have your insurance rates gone down in the past, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is? And the resounding response I receive is no, my rates go up year after year after year. Even with the pandemic, when fewer people are driving, we have seen fewer rebates on insurance rates, and insurance company profits are through the roof.
I know.
They're skyrocketing.
For as an example, as we get close to wrapping this up, our second car has been driven maybe 2,000 kilometers for the entire year. Our insurance rates went up 10%. So I phoned my broker. I went, what's going on here? Like, well, that's, rates have gone up and, parts and everything. I went, so we got another quote and, with CAA and, we obviously changed, but this secret credit is really something new that I've never heard of, and I'm sure our listeners haven't heard. If they want to find out more information about this secret code and other things, how's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, if you want to learn more about the deductible and secret credit, you can visit the Financial Services Commission of Ontario website. That's a great starter point. If you have questions about this, you can always ask my office. You can visit us at goldfingerlaw.com, or you can always email me at Brian, BRIAN, at goldfingerlaw.com.
Great. Listen, a pleasure having you on for the last couple of weeks, and we will certainly reach out to you going forward, and enjoy your time on the weekends with your kids at the arenas, and it's been long overdue.
Thanks, Steve. Be safe, be well.
You too. We're back with Dave's Corner Garage right after this. Stay with us.